Hey guys, today I was thinking about sharing my thoughts with you guys about the recent, or I guess upcoming Magic the Gathering Hobbit set. A lot of us uh, feel like most of the Universes Beyond sets kind of take away from the specific feel and vibe of Magic the Gathering, where it's fantasy and even the sci-fi elements feel more science fantasy than sci-fi. The Hobbit is one of those sets that feel more in line with the feel of old school Magic the Gathering. But specifically, The Hobbit and by extension Lord of the Rings. I think when I checked all of the partnerships from Universes Beyond, I think this is the only one I was like, well, okay, fine. Marvel Comics is also technically literature, and I do consider it literature, but I think this is the only one that's like a modern classic, a book, something that could be assigned to a literature class, right? Because J.R.R. Tolkien, and although he does like dispute it, this was a post World War II. Well, this is a glimpse into post World War II culture in, I guess, the UK and to some extent the world. And that made me think about literature and Magic the Gathering. A lot, like I personally have read The Hobbit some time ago, I think in college or high school. I think high school. But personally, I don't remember much of the details, but I remember enough that majority of the cards I remember when they happened and that they did happen. Some of them are weird though, like a frying pan for a card. Anyway, it's just really interesting to me that many Magic the Gathering players might have their first interaction with The Hobbit through the set, and it made me wonder, is it a valid way to interact with a story, a narrative? Because one day, someone who's only read the Hobbit novel will talk with someone who's only watched the Hobbit films, who might also talk to someone who's only played the Hobbit set and know the characters and the story and the events through the cards. Of course, maybe they'll have to read the wiki or whatever to really know the order of events. But when they see something like, oh yeah, Smog, the dragon from the Lonely Mountain, you know, Erebor, or Thranduil, the Elven King, is it a valid way to interact with literature or narrative? And that made me think that card games could be a form of literature because they're also a form of media. What, I guess I'm just overthinking again, but the way I understand it, literature is basically a medium of communication for imparting complex, well, sometimes it's simple enough, but complex ideas, a complex narrative to an audience. And I would say that Magic the Gathering, or maybe even like trading card games in general, maybe even board games, offer a non-linear way of presenting aspects of a narrative. I mean, I think about the fairy tales, right? Or yeah, fairy tales from yeah, popular culture, Disney. It's not just Disney, but they have been popularized by Disney movies. These same Hans Andersen Christensen Grimm or Tales or Grimm Brothers Tales show up in Eldraine sets. And of course, they resonate with a lot of us because we're already familiar with them. But The Hobbit introduces these elements to an audience that's potentially never seen or know about The Hobbit before. And that was true with Lord of the Rings as well. But I think The Lord of the Rings is a way more popular phenomenon compared to The Hobbit. So I don't know. I guess it just made me think like, sure, they've made books into card games, and someone somewhere out there will play these cards and they'll understand the story from these cards. But what? So it went from story to card game. Sure. But what if someone understands what if the story didn't start out as a novel, it started out as cards, and people read those cards and understand the story? Isn't that literature still? Does this exist? And I realize, I mean, universes within. Sure, some sets have novels, but the majority of the story, the world building, is presented to us through cards. So I guess it isn't. I guess it's so interesting that in its own way, Magic the Gathering is a series of science fantasy literature. And I think we might be well, I don't know if it's an exaggeration to say that we might be losing that to universes beyond, but I mean, it is a really interesting concept, and I mean, I respect the Magic the Gathering designers so much, and not just the mechanics, the card designers, but also the world building designers and the writers. Even though there are and of course I respect the writers of the stories, and although they provide a linear form of storytelling, majority of the experiences and majority of the knowledge comes from playing with the cards or reading the cards or experience of the cards. I guess, yeah, I guess it's just one of those thoughts that I've been playing over and over, and it just made me appreciate Magic just a bit more. Yeah, Magic the Gathering as literature. Yeah, so I mean, I guess I guess I'm. This video was really just a bit of a stream of consciousness rambling. And also I guess a different kind of video from the two I've just made. So yeah, I'm really sorry about the long pauses because I don't edit these videos, or at least I don't plan to just yet. So if you reach this part, thank you for listening, and goodbye.